When it comes to the practical applications, he gives us quite a few. And like an old preacher, there are multiple subpoints under each subpoint. So we're just going to hit the high spots. First, he says, this doctrine, this reality greatly rebukes and reproves those who despise the blood of Christ. And his main point here is those who know they're sinners, but for some reason they refuse to cast themselves on Christ. So they kind of stand back. And he unravels some of their excuses. Some might say, I'm such a terrible sinner, I don't think that even this cross could save me. And he says, it's not that you think too lowly of yourself, that you stay back. It's that you think so lowly of Christ. He says, some of you might say, well, I know that God is just, and I think so much of the justice of God, I don't believe that I could ever be forgiven. And he says, well, look at the cross where the justice of God was satisfied. So much so that every person in Christ might cry out for the justice of God when we're asking for mercy. It is right. It is fair for God to continue to love me and forgive me because of what Christ did. And then he says, if you say, well, I think too much of the holiness of God. God is so holy, I don't think he would want me. Look at the cross, he says. Nowhere do we see the holiness of God so perfectly honored. The Holy One bears our sin, becomes the sacrifice so that we might be given the righteousness of God. Staying back from God because he's so holy will not honor his holiness. Coming and laying hold of the sacrifice and being captivated with that gospel does honor the holiness of God.
Yeah. So in each of those, he points out that they look humble. There's a false humility in them that says, I'm so bad, I'm so this. But really, it's not humility, it's pride that doesn't think enough of Christ's sacrifice and refuses the cure because it doesn't trust that it is sufficient.